Hello, everyone. So I just got back from an early screening of Strange World. This is Disney's newest film, and yeah, it comes in at about an hour and 40 minutes long. It's directed by Don Hall, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Jacoby White, Gabrielle Union, Dennis Quaid, Alan Tudyk is in this. That's a pretty honestly solid voice cast. But yes, without further ado, this film releases on Wednesday, so November 23rd. But yes, let me get into my review for Strange World. So Strange World follows a family known, a very legendary explorer family known as the Cades. So they're a family of explorers whose differences threaten to topple their latest and most crucial mission. I can't really say too much without getting into the plots and spoilers for this movie, and of course this is going to be a spoiler-free review. But it's mainly about you have a father who is extremely into exploring. That's all that he does. He's extremely selfish in that way, and all he wants to do is explore, create a name for himself, and just again cement his discoveries and history. And then you have his son, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. The father is played by Dennis Quaid, and then his son is, well, his name is Searcher, and he is more of the farmer and wants to create life and create inventions that's going to help their people that way. So the father wants to explore, go to new reaches for his people and make discoveries that way, where the son wants to again use the technology that they already have at home, the growth that they already have at home, and again make inventions and just resources that are going to help their people. Basically, these two different viewpoints that they have clash with one another, where they discover a ginormous crater within their home world that is full of just weird creatures and colors and life and plants, and it's just a world where everything's alive. And they have to get to the bottom of it to discover again how this new world affects the current world that they live in, how it affects the outside world that they live in. And it's just again the family dynamic that they have within it is very, very fragile, and they have to again come together to understand each other in order to again save their family dynamic and save the world. So when it comes to the animation of this film, it is very, very beautiful in terms of its colors, in terms of its creature design. There's a lot of really, really cool things that they definitely put on screen here, and it was very, very fun and pretty to watch in a lot of ways. I found that the musical score of this is very generic and didn't really add anything to like the final movie in its own. It didn't bolster anything, but it's there, it's generic. It fits for what it is, but it doesn't really do anything special to again kind of bolster the world or bolster the scenes that they're in. Everything is just very basic, like in string orchestra music, which again too I feel like if they would have kind of dove into some more sci-fi elements, things like that for this new world that they're in, it definitely could have built it up a lot more and made again to the music match the strange brand new world that they're discovering and exploring. I found too, kind of based off of that generic thing, this movie is extremely predictable from starts to finish. It's really easy to tell where things are going to go, how characters are going to react to things, change to things. It definitely doesn't do anything new or standouts in terms of what Disney has done in the past. Yeah, the characters are, I don't really, especially the side characters, you're not really going to remember any of them by the end of this movie. A lot of them are just kind of there for comedic relief, and comedic relief that is very, very kiddie. So it's goofy in a lot of ways and not quite my style of humor. There are a few good jokes that they crack in this, but nothing again really super memorable about it. Very predictable, extremely generic, and the pacing issues in this movie, the first quarter and the last quarter of this movie are pretty solid. They do things that are great, but again just very predictable in the ways that they're going to play out. But again, the second and the third quarters of this movie are extremely slow. The pacing is really, really bad and poor. There's a bunch of times where it's really, really boring. It seems like events are just happening for the sake of them happening with no plot devices in play to make it work. It was just definitely something where it's a spectacle on screen. It looked pretty, but they just felt like there was no substance or plots or anything driving what we were supposed to be seeing or building upon what we were seeing in the world that they were in. The message of this movie, when it gets to the end of it, I found was something that I did really, really like, and I found it was absolutely very important. And again, it's just a very good message in it, but I just didn't find that the build up to it and some of the commentary around it was really there to drive it home a lot of the ways. Again, too, for a really good concept, it was just very generic and wasn't the best execution to tell the story that it was trying to tell. Again, too, it just really didn't do anything creative in a way in terms of its storytelling to make it interesting enough to hold my attention all the way through. A lot of the characters, again, just make bad decisions, generic decisions, things that just, again, felt like they were just very simple generic plot devices that didn't really have a lot of substance in it. So a lot of the times the characters and the world and the storytelling fell very, very flat because of it. So really, with everything taken together, I'm gonna have to give Strange World a 6 out of 10. I do think it's a watch because there are, again, some funny things, key things. I love the dog within this. I like the creature design. I like the colors and everything of the world, and it's really pretty in that way, but it's definitely not something that I'm going to watch again. I feel like there's no need to, but I did like the overall message of the story. I just felt like, again, a lot of its execution was lacking in a lot of ways, but it is very pretty. I don't think it's worth theater price. Rental price, if it's something like $6 Canadian or things like that, I think it's definitely worth a watch, but I would definitely say wait to watch this one at home. It's probably going to go on Disney Plus for Christmas, like most of their movies, like Encanto and Soul did these past few years. So I would say definitely wait for that. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for the family in that way, but it's definitely nothing really special in terms of what Disney has done in the past if you want to compare it to, again, just the last couple movies that have happened. But if you've seen Strange World, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And of course, if you'd like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up, and you can check out everything I do on this channel through the playlist down below, and I'll link on top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ringer on so you don't want to upload new videos. If you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. You can definitely join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than this already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time sinking into the side.